And now David Dinsmore. Hard to believe he was just 18 when we saw him in any Olympic trials. That first spot out is excruciating. And we can remember the reaction for Dinsmore.
Heartbreaking. He was so close. He came back so hard. And he's here to play today. Sometimes I've seen David, when he's a little nervous, go really far over on that dive. Like in the early rounds of last year's World Championships, he couldn't control it because of all that adrenaline we talked about earlier. But right here, he gets a great start, but he knows now. He comes out at the right time, looks right at it. Cleanest entry we've seen so far. Beautiful top. Look at that, almost 2 somersaults he's finishing above the tower. A pretty wide split tuck, but we'll see if the judges can actually see that from the side. That's where they judge from the profile view.
And the scores there strong. 8s to 8.5s for Dinsmore. So all 5 of these young men, NCAA divers, every Team USA diver, both men and women in Rio, was an NCAA diver.
I think that's really where divers start to come into their own too. You know, they're done growing at that point. They're getting stronger. A lot of these NCAA schools, they have great weight programs and training programs they can access to. And they learn how to balance that student athlete life. As you can see, Dinsmore's doing really well. That was a beautiful front 3.5. This is actually a dive he's worked on adding a somersault to it in the tuck position, doing a front 4.5. He just said it's not quite ready to compete yet because he just learned it this spring. So he went back to this one that's, you know, a steady favorite for him and super easy. He makes it look like a voluntary dive, like just a basic skill. The way he just crushes that entry. Look at that. Hardly a drop.
So lower degree, for example, than Los Cabos, but those sharp scores get him 72 points, and he extends his lead. And now David Dinsmore, who was at a lower DD dive in round 2, now he steps up to 3.6.
Yep, he's doing the same arm stand we saw from his teammate, Zach Cooper, earlier, and from Brandon in the previous round. So again, they can get up into the handstand any way that they want. They can press up, they can cartwheel up, they can kick up. A lot of these guys, they're so strong, and they can just press up and show that control right there. Not a problem. That's how you do an arm stand 2.5 twist.
Well,
that was gorgeous.
And you could hear this is a diving savvy audience, obviously, and they understood right away. That was big time.
Well, you could hear that pop, that rip entry on it. And watch, he kind of popped his shoulders to set himself up, and then boom, up and over the platform. We saw Zach Cooper kind of fall away, but David pops it right up and over so he can look right at the bottom. He's very, very patient waiting for the bottom. He doesn't reach early. He doesn't duck his head. He just lines up, hands right by his ears.
Look at those scores.
Huge.
8 5s and 1 9. 91 points, and that really extends the lead. Over 30 points ahead now is David Dinsmore. And now David Dinsmore with a chance to, I mean, no secret here, he could really take command of this championship.
He could. The one in warm-up looks similar to the one we just saw from Brandon, so it'll be interesting to see if he, you know, takes a cue from that warm-up and fixes the entry during the meet here. Oh, so close to being such a big dive. He placed at the exact right, he put his feet at the right place, but he just gave when he hit the water. You see beautiful takeoff. His form is exquisite in the air. Locked legs, beautiful toe point, places right at the 5, just reaches back too hard and gives as he goes through, so there's this big splash. If he stays a little tighter, it is going down.
All right, not great scores, but he does even build more of a lead over Los Cabos. Zach Cooper very close now in its chase for second. Oh, now David Dinsmore, his degree of difficulty a little lower, 3.4. How is he on this dive?
It is a lower degree of difficulty dive, but it's a great dive for David Dinsmore. Reverse 3.5 tuck. I've seen him do this for 9.5s. It's an exquisite dive when he does it well. Oh, but
Well.
he does not today.
Okay, so
It looked like a really good start. He just came out early.
that's going to perhaps give us a little tension going into the final dive.
See right here, he's got a huge jump. Look how high he goes over that railing. 2 somersaults above the 10-meter, but he kicks down. He needs to place his feet a little bit higher and keep his arms down longer to allow it to continue to rotate. Such pretty form in the air, but you have to be accurate. That's going to open up a little bit of gap. It's going to be a lot closer going in the last round.
And there are the scores. So that miss at the bottom, and that is what Lo Chiavo in particular, and maybe perhaps even Cooper needed to give themselves hope going to the final round. The gap down to 8 points between Dinsmore and Lo Chiavo. And David Dinsmore will need to average 6.25. Average score here to win the championship.
I think David has got this wrapped up. He could miss the dive and do it. He's been doing this dive for so long, so well. Just enjoy the beauty of it. So pretty. Throws a little bit of water on the end. So beautiful in the air. When it comes to form and technique, he is one of the best in the world. It's just getting that accuracy. He needs to put the disappearing act on it like he did with his arm stand earlier in the rounds. He does that on all of his dives, and he'll be in the hunt internationally.
So there was the U, just that little honor as we await the scores. And there they are. So David Dinsmore, who since that near miss at the Olympic trials won the NCAA championship in 2017 in the same pool, by the way, in Indianapolis, and now wins the 2018 national championship.